Yeah, welcome back to Let's Talk Facts. This is Omega Studio, and with me again is Rashida.
Amalade
Now,
Sulai.
Malale Sule. Before we went for break, Rashida, I figured out that you have so much inside of you want to share out, especially to the world of today, to the youth of today, to those who feel discouraged, to those who feel life is threatening them, they can't make it, they can't do it, and so on and so forth. So, with this being said, um, I know some time ago you attended History Makers training. And by the way, History Makers is a leadership training, not just a leadership to train you on how to lead people, but to train you on how to empower others using your resources, the gifts God has given you, your talents, and everything you have to reach out, empower the community where you are and bring them into the kingdom. It's not all about church, but it's about the kingdom work. You attended History Makers.
I attended
Can
History
you share
Makers.
your experience about History Makers, please?
Wow, History Makers was so powerful. Such a powerful training that I feel that every Christian should go through. And I thank God for the people that I came across, Dr. Jonathan and his wife, that introduced me to HMT because I never knew such a training existed. Now, I'm living in Georgia and never knew something like that existed in Georgia. Now, in the beginning, I didn't know it was for 2, 3 days. I thought, I could just come and leave. But after the first day, I think was the most challenging day for me. And the reason why it was so challenging was because when you're in that type of environment where there's nothing is just you and God. And I'm coming from such a noisy environment into this place of nothingness. The first day was challenging because it was so noisy. I started thinking, oh my God, I don't have time for this. I can't be here. I got things to do. So after that first day that I actually realized that I have to stay here. The prayer was phenomenal. The teaching was truth. It was so real. It wasn't preaching. It was literally deep teaching and knowing what you were here for, knowing that all of us was made to be history makers, And when we look at people like Mandela, they showed us Mandela. What is it that Mandela have that God has not given to you? What is it that Oprah have that God has not? All these things God has given to us. But how many of us would really, really take that walk of faith and become a history maker? We have the power, we have God, which is the ultimate. And I just learned so much. It's not a sin to be a history maker. It's actually one of God's platform for all of his children. So I went in knowing God, and I came out knowing him on a total different level. And how he wishes me well, how he wants me to be the best of all that I can be. That's his will. That's his purpose for me. And HMT brought that out. And I can go on and on about HMT, but I truly believe that every Christian, or anybody who wants leadership training should take this training. It's awesome.
Okay. One of the things or subjects we are treating in this my course, in this my program, degree, the doctoral degree program, is how to bring God into the society, how to bring God into the workplace. And History Makers happens to have the tools to help you, excuse me, help you understand how you can utilize what you have, especially the gifts God has given you to become a better person in order to impact other people. Now, can you share a little bit what one thing you learned from that history makers training? Can you remember anything?
Oh yeah,
do you want me
I
to
remember a
prompt you?
lot. Well, you can, but I
still
do
can
remember
prompt
a
you.
lot.
All right, let's take it from here. One of the teachings we gave was sowing the seed of sons. Can you remember that?
Sowing the seed of Psalms.
Yeah, sowing the seed of sons.
I love that topic, but that wasn't the topic that gave me the U-turn.
Okay, let me hear from you from your own angle.
Everything in HMT works so well together. What scared the living daylights out of me was when we were told to do an assignment
Okay,
on writing our obituary.
there you go.
I was like, are you kidding me? And this is something that everybody runs from. Nobody wants to die. You know, everybody wants to live forever, but we know that death is inevitable. We cannot run from it. So when I had to write a lesson of who is Rashida, what would they say about Rashida when Rashida is no longer here? What would people cry about? What would they have to say about you? That gave me such a U-turn in my life of what is it really that I want people to know about me
Exactly.
while I'm here? Because for God going through all of that to build you and to make you and to bring you out of a human being, because he says even before we were born, he knew us.
Exactly.
So that means that you're special. So he bringing you out and now you are here. There's a reason, a season that you must go through and things that he has made you for. And I never knew that because all I was taught was go to school, get an education, get a job, and work for the rest of your life and retire and have children, get married and all that. That was all we're really taught. So HMT taught me that I'm here for a purpose.
Okay.
I'm here for a reason. I have to make my stance known. Who is Rashida? What does Rashida want to do in this world? And what does she want to leave behind as a legacy? So that helped me to go back and rethink. Because before, you're working, you want to have a lot of money, you want to pay your bills. Pay bills, bills. That's it. Is that all you want to be known for? My children would say, well, mommy always paid the bills.
Wow.
Daddy always took care of everything. Daddy and mommy paid the bills. Is that what we want to be known for? So I get to God and I say, but God, I paid all my bills. I don't owe anybody anything. Is that what I sent you to the whole world for? To go and do, to be known for. So HMT gave me that spark that you can do more. You can be more. Especially if you're a Christian. Let's say you didn't have Jesus Christ inside of you. Do whatever. That's your problem. But when you now have the greatness inside of you, then you can do great. You can be great. You can expect great. You can want great and know that great will happen. So that's what HMT taught me. Love
Thank
HMT.
you for sharing that. You know, we all are born with greatness inside us. I'm glad you mentioned somebody like the late Mandela. I read the history of Mandela and I saw what Mandela went through. But then the greatness in him could not allow him to succumb. He still came out and fulfilled his destiny. That's what history makers can do for you. You talked about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah has done so much that the world can never forget because the greatness in her came out in such a phenomenon, how do I put it, in such a way that when people look at her, she becomes a model. It's like she's now an idol. History makers will help you bring out the greatness in you. And when you understand the concept of history makers and run with it, the world becomes your home.
Amen.
And not your house, and not the place we call a home.
Oh, wow.
You know, so that being said, what do you think history makers can do for the youth of this generation?
Oh, wow. You can do a lot for them.
Now, let me take you further. In terms of education, in terms of time management, because I understand that
Yes.
time is a problem.
Time, yeah.
In this age they call computer age, electronic age, you have the iPad, you have the iPod, you have the cell phones, you have the this, you have the that. Everything is digitalized.
Right.
And that keeps them watching all kinds of manner of movies and crazy things, you know, that kind of a thing. So what do you think history makers can do in order to bring out the greatness in our youth of this generation?
I think history makers can do amazing things, but
Speak up.
first being first is, I think I think the parents should go through History Maker. I think they should go through HMT. Then they will see the importance of it, of their children going through it. And if the children were to be the ones to go through it first, then I see how it can benefit them in their spiritual walk, not just spiritual walk, in all facets of life. Because when you were talking about time management, we really don't understand how important time is. And it's extremely important because we all have the same 24 hours in the day, but the way you use it is what propels you to be able to do great tomorrow. If you use your 24 hours to slouch around and do absolutely nothing, then you're supposed to expect absolutely nothing. But if you use your 24 hours and you use it productively, then you can know that step by step of what you're trying to produce eventually will give you a product. And it's up to you whether the product is good or whether the product is bad. HMT helped me to know that the world is such a noisy world. And when you're in this world, it's so easy for you to lose fact of what's really, really important. So I had told myself after HMT that I will find one weekend in a month and I will always shut out the noise and just focus on God and just be quiet and listen. It's too much talking. Too busy. Before you go to bed, phone. Get up in the morning, Facebook. During the day, Facebook. You know, so at the end of the day, and then you have to do. So at the end of the day, your day is gone, but was it productive in any type of way? So HMT taught me that you have to be able to tune yourself out and listen sometimes, because the world is just noisy. And if you're not careful, that's why when you're asking about the youth of today, that's a whole nother beast of generation.
Exactly.
Because there's too much computer, the iPod, the iPhone. Technology is taking over these youth. But if we as parents, because we're also guilty of these things, if their birthday come, what do you want? I want an iPad. What do you need an iPad for?
Tell me something.
For what? You understand? Is it that you want to use it to study? And we have computer. Let all use computer. We use it within. You use your own 1 hour ID productively. You use, but they have iPads. You know. When my daughter was 9, what you want for your birthday? Oh, I want an iPhone. Who are you talking to? I'm here. Your dad is here. You know. So, and then we get this guilty thing that, oh, their friends have it, so we should give it to them. And then once they have it, because my daughter is going to be 12 in November, I traveled, I came back, my husband got them an iPhone, yeah, and then all of a sudden, I didn't say anything. But at nighttime, when light out is supposed to be 9 o'clock, you're supposed to be in your bed sleeping, I will notice that some type of light is on in their room. What are they doing? They're on the phone. Doing what? I can't keep in touch with that. Computer has allowed them to be all over cyberspace doing God knows what.
Wow.
Listening to God knows what. Talking to God knows who. So the rule in our house is that when it's 9 o'clock, the phone comes into our room. Nobody uses the phone anymore. Cut off. You know, so there has to be rules and regulations that start from the home. If there's no discipline in the home, you can't expect a child to just naturally be disciplined. What does the Bible say about that? It says in their hearts, there's all kind of crazy things going on.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're so welcome.
History Makers is phenomenal. It's a lesson, a training I encourage everyone to go through. Youth, adults, like it's something that can help you bring the best out of you. Number one, it will help you identify your giftings, not just your giftings, your talents, but the greatness in you. And number two, will help you fulfill your purpose, because when you understand your greatness and you begin to work with it, your purpose in life is fulfilled. So it's a training that everyone are encouraged to attend. That is a fact.
Yeah. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's the truth about whole life. I don't want to live my life and at the end God asks me, what did you do?
What did you do? Voila.
I said I went to school and just worked and paid bills.
Pay bills.
No, it's beyond that. So thank you. Let's just take a little quick look at dropouts. I know it's a big thing. It's been a big challenge in every society, having youths to drop out of school. You know, my idea is to empower the youth through this program to understand the importance of education. Dropping out cannot help you, because when you drop out of school, your life is being delayed, your future is being delayed, your destiny is being delayed by the number of years you stayed out of school. So what do you think we can do about school dropouts?
To tell you the truth, and now we always say culture. In our culture, is not something that we're used to. But it's really painful if a person start and don't finish something. And I feel like if youths are dropping out, you know, what is the situation that they're going through? Because what I would do if I knew someone who dropped out of school is I would try to talk to them and try to find out what situation are they in, what made them drop out of school. Is it that, you know, they got pregnant at a young age, or you just feel that, because what I'm seeing right now is that a lot of them, once they're working and they're going to school, they just eventually drop out of school and just feel, let me put more hours into work. I'm already making money. I can get my own apartment, you know, and they forget school. But school is important. Education is so important. You can never, just like Dr. Jonathan said, you know, when you drop out of school, you're just delaying beautiful things to come in your life. And that's what that is. You're literally stopping your life from moving forward. It's like a break. Like you take a break. And that break is not a good break, because even that job that you're running after, if they now ask you, do you have a high school degree? Oh, no. Oh, they can't now make you a supervisor. Do you have a college degree? Now all of a sudden at that job you want to become a manager. But the requirement for being a manager is bachelor's degree. Do you have a bachelor's degree? No. So what you did then is still affecting your future, your destiny is affecting you now. So why don't you just go through the pain and go through that turmoil that you think you're going through, go through it and come out successful at the end, so that when you are in a position and you're working this job and they're looking for a manager to put in place, you have the requirements of what it takes
To fill that
to
position.
fill the position, rather than you're now 30 something years old. Yeah, your children are going back to school, and I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong. Go back to school, but what if you never dropped out? Then you never would have to go through this delay. So you're so right, Doctor, when you say when you do drop out, is a delay of your destiny, a delay of your future, and a delay of good things to come in your life. So if I was to know someone who dropped out of school, I would try so hard to see what I can do to help them get back into school, even if it is part-time. A lot of people feel, oh, financially they can't afford it. Well, let's see if we can get you financial aid. Let's see if people in your church will help put some funds together to help you go back to school. But one thing that I'm seeing, Doctor, is that we need to be involved in our community. We need to be involved in what's going on in the lives of our people. We need to show, not just say that we care, we need to show that we care.
How can we get involved in our community?
Getting involved in our community, I mean, are you in church? A lot of these things that we're talking about, there's so many people that's going through it.
Yeah.
Right in the church. Right in the church. There's dropouts in the church. There's people that are going through these things day in and day out. But I realize that in our own African community, people keep their stuff to themselves. And until you let people know, forget the shame, but think about the glory that you'll get from letting out your shame, and let people help you. Forget about, oh, they're going to talk about me, because they're going to talk about you regardless.
Exactly.
They're going to talk about you regardless.
If they don't talk about you today, tomorrow they still say something like that.
They're going to talk about you. So let us know what you need help with, and talk to either the leaders that can either try to help you, and if you feel you can't get help there, I'm not going to put my telephone number on the line. But, you know, Omega Studios there, give me a call. Ask Omega Studios. You know, he have my number. And let's see what we can do. We need to start building a facility, or building a facility within ourselves, where we can be able to be accessible to help our community.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's one of the concepts I have when I created the youth empowerment concept.
Oh.
Meanwhile, youth empowerment concept is a way to reach out to the youth. You know, not just the youth, bring kind of community service, bring the parents, bring the children, bring everybody that involves, you know, to a table, and have this kind of table discussion, and see how we can move forward. All of that encompasses areas about education. Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Education is so important. Education is very, very necessary. That being said, one more or two more questions I want to throw out there. Let's see how we can tackle that before our time run out.
Okay.
I heard you mention something about teen pregnancy relating to education and dropouts in school. What do you think is the effect of teen pregnancy? What impact do you think that will make in either allowing that girl to further her education, to not only further her education, advance into her destiny? That's what I'm trying to bring out. What do you think that pregnancy at that stage in life could cause her?
Again, coming from both sides, being a Nigerian and also an American.
Bear in mind, not only in America. I'm glad you said
worldwide.
That. Worldwide,
but this is
it's a global issue.
Yeah, it is a global issue. But I take it from coming from a, from how my parents were brought up and what they tried and then eventually instilled in me, from the world that is of the free, the brave. You can do anything, say anything, be anything, and how that comes together. You take the best of both worlds and make it better. I feel that our parents should show us more love. The community should show us more love. They need to find out the true definition of love, because it's that love that takes us back on our knees after we've committed sin. Because we know that God loves us unconditionally, we still go back to him, ask for forgiveness, and we still move on and walk back into our destiny. So we need our people to learn the true definition of love, that I can come to you after such an atrocity, after such, teenage pregnancy, I'm pregnant. The person is pregnant. They're already very, very afraid and scared of what their parents is going to do. They are about to pass out. They probably even run away because they know that, the disappointment, and all of that. But can you imagine if this child can actually come to you and and this is so unexpected. I'm not saying grab her and say, yeah, I love you still or whatever. You can't do that, because we were talking earlier about Sarah Jakes, who got pregnant at the age of 13, who had this child at the age of 14, who her parents found out that she was pregnant by reading a letter. Somebody sent the letter to the house. Who, when the parents saw her, they could not talk for hours. They didn't know what to say. And these are pastors. They were quiet, but they still took her in. They still loved her. She went through all of that, had the child, and it was, you have to go back to school. Okay, you've done this. It's done. Let's put this behind us now. You've had this baby. You've breastfed this baby. This baby is good now. We're going to put this baby in daycare. You need to go to school. Either you need to do daytime or whatever. But they let her know that regardless of this bump in life that you've had, that education is still very important. So that's what we need to, first of all, from the beginning of our children's life, let them know how important education is. How you are there for them regardless of what happens. Because that's the reason why that our children is always running somewhere else. Peer pressure. I went through so much peer pressure when I was a child. My parents did not understand. Being called an African booty scratcher, that's not my name. Why would you call me an African booty scratcher? So I was trying to fight for my rights and fight for myself. And when I go to my parents, don't pay them any mind. You are from a good family. I don't know the family I'm from. The only people I see is you and daddy. Where's the family? We're in a four-corner house. Four-corner wall of an apartment. You're talking to me about family. Where are they? So my friends became my family. So my friends would tell me, let's do this, let's do that, let's smoke. So it felt natural. But if you really show them at home how much you care for them, how much they can come to you at any time for anything, just like we can go to God for anything, let them know that you are that accessible. It's not like they'll bring you silly stuff, but the fear of, I don't want to hurt my dad. He's such a loving person. I don't want to hurt his feelings. That fear would keep them from doing a lot of silly things. And if they were to do something which it happened in their life, it's not the end of the world. They can always come back to you and you can receive them and, okay, this plan didn't work. Let's see what other plan God has for you. Let's continue your journey in life.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's not all about your mistakes.
No.
It's the courage. Taking the courage when you have made the mistake. Go back, reconcile with your parents, reconcile with yourself, reconcile with God, and move on with your life.
Yeah.
Your destiny is more important than your mistakes.
That's right.
One final thing,
Yeah.
drugs
Drugs.
and education in the realm of the youth.
Oh.
Can you briefly, what do you have to say about that? It's a great challenge. It's a big challenge to our community, even till today.
It
So,
is.
do you think drugs have a way of hindering the youth from completing the education? Do you think it has any effect in
Drugs.
drop out of school?
Yeah. Drugs, sex,
Drinking?
partying,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff.
Wow.
All that stuff. You know, if you're a person who's ever wanted anything good in life, just know that these things are just not good for you. Growing up in Brooklyn, I had people around me that was doing drugs. We would see crack bottles on the floor when we were going to school. I never had any drug person come around me to introduce me to stuff like that because my parents always sheltered me. When they dropped me off, they make sure I went into school. When they came and picked me up, they took me out of the school into the car. So we have to be able to shelter our children from that type of exposure. And we have to know that, you know, this is a possibility that something like this can happen. Be involved in your children's life. Know what they're doing. You know, be in their business. It's your job. If they're living in your household, it's your job to be in their business. So they are out of your household, you should be in their business. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it's so easy. It takes one day for that child to start drugs and it's done. You're done. You're done. Because it would take you a lifetime to try to get them out of it. Now it gets you into a, you know, yes, you've been praying and fasting and talking to God and praying for your children, laying hands on them, and all of a sudden, drug, take them away from you just like that. Not in death, but in their life, their destiny being delayed.
Exactly.
Being delayed. Because once they get into that drug, that's all they see and know. Drug becomes their God. You know, drug becomes their God. But like I said earlier, keep loving them. Keep loving them. Is that a call coming in? Okay. All right. Keep loving them. Let them know that you're there. Not that you approve of what they're doing, but knowing that spiritually, the God that you're talking to will eventually intervene into that child's life and bring that child back to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You have all heard about the truth. I once again want to emphasize that the scripture says scripture is the foundation of this life.
Yes, yes.
Everything we are doing hinges on that scripture, the truth. You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. You young man, you young woman, we are here to encourage you. Please do whatever you can to stay away from drugs, stay away from teen pregnancy, stay away from anything that will hamper you or stop you from advancing your destiny, bringing out the, you know, the greatness in you.
Yeah.
Anything that will lead you to dropping out of school, please run away from that. Secondly, make sure you reconcile with your parents. Please, whatever it takes. I know sometimes we have these family issues. Parents don't understand and children don't understand. There is this tug of war.
Spiritual warfare.
My dear, it's even more, well, I say it's more than spiritual warfare. You know, it's in every family.
Every family.
But I believe God is going to help us.
Ah.
And so that being said, what message do you have for the youth out there? Because we're about to close. What message do you have for the youth?
Well, I just want to say to my youth that I've been there, I've done it. I thank God for my parents who never stopped praying over my life. I thank God for my parents who led me to God at a very, very early age. I mean, at the age of 9, I knew Psalms 23 right off the back of my head. Life is going to happen. Things are going to happen. But I always want you to know that even if you can't run to your parents, even if you can't run to people that you call your close friend, you can always run to God. You can always get on your knees and pray. Why? Because he made you. He created you for himself. He didn't create you for your parents. He created you for himself, for his joy. Okay? You give him joy. He loves you. So if you know that anything in life, anything that you want to be in life, anything that you're looking into life for, go back on your knees and it's just a conversation. And this is what I did. I went on my knees. I had a conversation with God, with my Father, with my Maker. I had a conversation with him. And I just said, you know what? I don't know what to do. Can you just teach me what to do? I want to be an Oprah. I want to be great in life. But I can't do it without you. Teach me what to do. So that's what I want you guys to do. You know, he loves you. Life is happening. You think your friends care about you. You think drugs cares about you. You think having sex is going to fulfill you. All of that is by the wayside. So from Rashida to you, I love you guys. I know exactly what you're going through when it comes to those teenage years or beyond the teenage years. And I'm just asking you that the only person in this life that knows you more than you know yourself is God.
It's God.
So get back on your knees and just ask him, what is it exactly that he wants you to do and to be? Okay? And God will be with you. All right.
Thank you, Rashida. Thank you for sharing your heart out, and thank you for being a part of this program. Let's talk facts. Viewers, with this, we come to the end of today's program. Let's talk facts. We want to give a credit to Omega Studio Atlanta. Omega Studio is created for education, is to educate you, to inform, to empower, and to socialize. Empowerment, I so much love that. Socialization, wherever you have, come to Omega Studio Atlanta and share your heart out and let people know that something is fishing somewhere. And that's the fact.
It's fishing.
That's the truth. Yes, something is happening.
It's happening somewhere. That's right, I know.
Yeah, that's what it means. You know, so thank you, and thank you so much. And with this, I want to say goodbye until we meet next time.